You see, you're one of those guys who's always around, sticking like glue, thinking that's going to work, right? But let me ask you this. How is a woman going to miss you if you never give her any space to do so? Seriously, this is basic. Now, there's a trick that many people don't know how to use, ignoring her just the right amount. I'm not talking about being a jerk, but about giving that space that makes her realize you're not there to be trampled on. But most guys fail miserably at this, either disappearing like a ghost or sticking around like a lost child at the mall. So pay attention. I'm going to show you 8 foolproof ways to give her that strategic cold shoulder. It's not to make her go away, but to make her so intrigued that she'll chase after you like you're the last Coke in the desert. Let's go. Number 1. Change the focus. Dude, it's time to stop being that guy who always orbits around her. You know what happens when you give too much attention? You become the predictable and boring toy. Let's be honest here. If you're always available, always there, how is she going to miss you? She won't, right? It's like watching the same movie over and over again. It becomes predictable and boring, and no one cares anymore. You want to be interesting. You want her to miss you, but you keep doing the exact opposite. This is the first mistake many people make, and it's why they end up being sidelined. When I say ignore, I'm not suggesting you be rude or disrespectful to the woman. It's not about making her feel bad, but about changing the dynamics of how you position yourself. Ignoring here means limiting the amount of attention you give. If you're always chasing after her, texting, liking all her photos, you're putting pressure on her. And what happens when people feel pressure? They pull back. She'll feel suffocated, as if she's being pressured to respond to something she might not be ready for. And guess what comes next? She'll start losing interest. She'll start seeing you as a sure thing, like a game she's already won. And what happens to sure things? Exactly. They lose value. Your body invests in something they already have in the bag. It's essential that you learn to ignore her strategically. This doesn't mean disappearing or pretending she doesn't exist, but stepping back and showing that you have your own life, your own interests, and that she isn't the center of your universe. Now, if you're constantly thinking about her, if everything you do is to please her or get her attention, then it gets complicated. Ignoring her in this case will be almost impossible. So what's the solution? Change your focus, but don't be mistaken. This isn't something you do just to manipulate her reaction. This is something you do for yourself. This shift in focus isn't a strategy to make her chase after you, although that might happen naturally. This is about you. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, about living your life on your own terms. And in the process, you'll notice that the dynamics between the two of you will change. She'll start noticing that you're not always available, that you have a life full of interesting things, and this will pique her interest in ways you never imagined. In the end, the real cold shoulder that works comes from within, from a quiet confidence that you don't need external validation to feel complete. When you reach that level, you'll attract not only her attention, but also that of anyone who crosses your path. And most importantly, you'll realize that the only approval that truly matters is your own. Number 2. Competition. Now let's talk about a classic mistake many make, thinking that woman is the only good thing in the world. This scarcity mindset is the perfect recipe for disaster. When you start thinking that she's the only one, you automatically start acting out of fear. Fear of losing, fear of not pleasing, fear that she'll find someone better. And you know what happens when you act out of fear? You become a puppet. This makes you accept things you should never accept. With this mindset, you start tolerating disrespect, accepting crumbs of attention, and settling for less than you deserve. And guess what? She'll notice. Women have a keen radar for these things. When she realizes you need her more than she needs you, the game changes, and not in your favor. She'll see you as someone who doesn't have self-worth, someone who's desperate, and consequently, any attraction she might have had for you will evaporate. So my friend, stop falling into this trap. If you've already started following the first step, and are focusing on yourself, on evolving, on becoming the best version of yourself, The next step is to open your eyes to the world around you. There are many women out there, and the best part is, they're not out of your reach. But for this, you need to shed that scarcity mindset and embrace an abundance mindset. Number 3. Sideline her. Now, let's talk about the true art of leaving a woman in doubt. The guy who hovers, always showing attachment, basically declaring himself at every step, ends up being seen as the trophy she already has on her shelf. She knows you're there, that you're guaranteed, and the result is coldness, disinterest, and that ever-growing distance. When a woman sees you as a sure thing, the dynamics change completely. She stops investing, stops caring because in her mind, the game is already won. And who puts effort into something that's already in the bag? Exactly no one. The big mistake here is showing that you're too available, that you're always ready to please, to chase after, to solve whatever she needs. This puts you in a position of weakness, and she'll notice. Now, if you turn the game around and show that you're not easily attached, that you have other priorities, that you're not always there, drooling and begging for attention, everything changes. When she starts to realize that maybe she doesn't have you so guaranteed, that you're not that guy who's always a step away, the dynamics change completely. She starts to feel the fear of losing you. And that fear is a powerful fuel. That fear takes her out of her comfort zone and makes her realize that maybe, just maybe, she needs to invest more in you. But this doesn't mean being cold or treating her badly. It means being strategic, be neutral, calm, and understand the right timing for everything. Don't go around declaring yourself all the time. Don't show that desperate attachment. When you act like this, you create an aura of mystery, of challenge. She starts thinking that maybe she needs to do more to win your attention. And let's be honest, who doesn't like a good challenge? Women like anyone, not a challenge. When you don't give guarantees, when you leave her in doubt about how you really feel, she starts to move. She leaves that relaxed stance, thinking she already won, and starts trying to win you over again. This is a natural reaction. Number 4. Go of the hang-ups. Ever been that guy who just can't let go of the past? Always bringing up old grievances, old arguments, the same old issues. Here's the thing. No one likes being reminded of their mistakes, and no one wants to be with someone who keeps dragging up old issues. This habit, this constant hang-ups, is a quick way to drive her away. You have to learn to move forward. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist, but about dealing with them in a way that doesn't make you seem like a broken record. If you're always bringing up the past, always complaining, she'll start to see you as the problem rather than the solution. When you can let go, when you can deal with issues maturely and without dragging every argument into the present, she'll start to respect you more. She'll see you as someone who has emotional control, who can handle problems without letting them affect every aspect of his life. Number 5. Be unpredictable. Now, let's talk about being unpredictable. This is not about being random for the sake of it, but about keeping her on her toes. The moment you become too predictable, too routine, the magic starts to fade. When you're always the same, always acting in the same way, she knows exactly what to expect. This is not a good thing. Being unpredictable doesn't mean being rude or behaving inappropriately, but about showing that you're a multi-dimensional person, full of surprises and interesting qualities. A little mystery goes a long way. It keeps her engaged, makes her curious about you, and when you keep her curious, she'll want to learn more, want to invest more, want to be a part of your world. Number 6. Be confident. Confidence is the key to any successful relationship. When you're confident, you attract respect and admiration. Confidence is not just about how you carry yourself, but how you handle situations, how you deal with problems, how you stand up for yourself. When you're confident, you don't need to chase after anyone. You don't need to prove yourself. You know your worth, and that in itself is attractive. Confidence makes you less clingy, less desperate, and more desirable. Number 7. Show emotional maturity. Being emotionally mature means handling your feelings in a healthy way. It means dealing with problems rationally, communicating openly without being overly emotional, and being able to handle stress without taking it out on others. This is attractive because it shows that you're grown up, that you can be reliable and stable. Number 8. Take time for yourself. This is about self-care and prioritizing your own well-being. When you take time for yourself, when you focus on your own happiness, it shows that you're not dependent on anyone else for your emotional fulfillment. It's about maintaining your individuality, your interests, your passions. This is attractive because it shows that you're a complete person in your own right, that you're not looking for someone else to complete you, but to add to your life. So there you have it. 8 strategic ways to give her the cold shoulder that actually work. Remember, it's not about being cold or rude, but about creating a dynamic where she realizes your value, where she sees that you're not just another face in the crowd. When you embody these strategies, you'll find that the balance of power changes in your favor, and that the relationship becomes more respectful, more interesting, and more engaged.